Okay guys, so I'm assuming you landed on this YouTube channel because you were considering a Thai bike. And why would you go Thai gravel bike? And why would you go custom or go with a factory already built, you know, to a specific geometry and maybe a custom spec, and or maybe go all custom where you work with the geometry and work with the company that's gonna build it up for you, whether that's a US company, an offshore company, a small frame builder in America or UK, and select the tubing, or just go with they've got some like Kingdom and some other manufacturers that let you customize a titanium frame. So why Thai? And is it worth the extra money? So if you go with the offshore or the Asian made frames in Taiwan, then you pretty much can get it Thai frame for the same price as you can get a high spec aluminum or a low spec carbon fiber gravel bike. You're really at the same price point. The frame alone is going to cost you around $1,000 and up, just depending on who you get it from. And the build spec is the build spec, so the sky is the limit what you build on it. If you go custom, you're not going to get in under $3,000 or $4,000. It's the minimal price of entry to go with a US or UK, Asia, non-Asia type of frame builder that's going to select the tubing and weld up a frame for you more in a bespoke manner. So that's going to cost you more, about 4x. And is it worth it? And you could actually get a custom steel frame for about the same price as a mass-produced Thai frame. So if custom is your only intent, I would say take a look at steel, because steel, you won't have the weight advantage. It's going to be heavier, but you will have those properties that you get with a bike being customized to you. And so then I want to think about, I want you to think about, do you feel that you need something custom to fit you? Could a bike that's factory, the same, you know, small, medium, large, extra large frame, fit you perfectly? And pretty much by changing things like your stem and handlebar and seat and stuff like that, I think you could pretty much get something that will fit you well. And you could get a frame only and custom spec it out to fit you really well. And I'll show you one thing you cannot do, and the reason I went custom with this, and what you might consider if this is your intent. Now, I ride a lot, and I felt that I could justify the expense with the amount of riding I do. And this is my hobby for my entire adult life. I've been doing this a long time. I'm not new to this, and I will continue doing this for as long as possible. So this is a 7. It's not my first 7, and I love working with these guys. 7 is a custom titanium frame company that's been building Thai frames for 30 years. they actually do their own tubing. So they're not outsourcing for the tubing or anything. Everything is in-house. They build it, you do A through Z with 7 people in-house. I could even had it custom spec'd in-house and had them ship it to me already built up, but I had my parts and I was going to do some of the building myself. So 7 built up this frame and painted it with the matching fork, and then the rest of the stuff I got myself. And part of the reason, if you take a look at that crank arm and front tire and pedal, I wanted something that wasn't going to have toe over. I have size 10 feet and I always wear SPDs and I always wear CD shoes, and I was getting toe over with my other gravel bike. If I was going to get a factory frame, this would be like a 50, or actually probably be like a 48 if you're going road sizing. If you're going mountain sizing, it would be like a small or a medium. So if I was going to get a small or a medium, I would have toe over. It just would not be as long enough in there. It wouldn't be spec'd to not have toe over. So I mean, it wouldn't be, the geometry would have toe over is what I'm saying. So that was part of the reason. The other part is I know I'm going to ride my bikes all day. I do that all the time, and I wanted a bike that felt comfortable all day. So I wanted the geometry to be made to where I feel it's perfect for me, for my body. And could I have achieved that with the different type of stem and handlebars and everything? Yes, I could have, but why not go all out and get something that's welded up to that? Did I have to go 7 and tie? No, I could have done that with a steel and worked with a smaller frame builder. And I think that's a really good route to go. If custom sizing is your main thing, you should also consider steel. If you want lightweight and something that's going to last forever and never corrode, then you're jumping over to the tie thing. So think of your priorities there. So let me show you what I got here. It's the Shimano GRX. This is the 800 group with the Envy fork. Now these wheels, I have different wheel sets. This is my Onyx hub with the hook loop flanges and with the bird spokes laced to actually mountain bike rims. Those are the XM481. So the XM481 is a lightweight, I think it's considered a trail rim from DT Swiss, but I've used those rims on mountain bikes before and they're great. And I think it fits the 700 by 45. Those are the Kenda. I forget the name of them, the Alluvium. I see the name of them, but I don't know how to say it. But those are Kendas. They are like their mid tread one. They're not the slick one. They're in between, and I like them. They're really close to a Gravel King, but a little more aggressive on the corner knob. So you can get into some loose stuff and you're fine. The handlebars are the Whiskey Parts Company Spano, and that's a 44. And I think going 44 for me is about as much as I would go. I had some other bars on here before, and you guys saw my other videos. I hated those bars, so I love the Spanos, and they sweep out, I think it's like 12 degrees, so they don't sweep out too much, and they're flattened on the top. They're a really nice bar. The Envy stem, now this is only a 70, and I did that because I knew, and Seven knew I was doing this. I knew I wanted to get a longer top tube and then get that pushed out a little bit so I wouldn't have toe over, but I didn't want to be stretched out. I'm not trying to get aero on this bike. It's a gravel bike. So the 70 stem kept me upright more, and you can look at the stack height. I got that way up there. I like it to be comfortable. Now the seat post is also an Envy, and it's the dropper post. It's in the low position, there's in the high, but as you can see, I don't have too much of a downslope, especially when I'm up in the hoods. These are little, King Creek bar ends. They were on sale, so I got those just to match. It's a Cane Creek E-Wings. And what I did with the E-Wings is I went a little more custom with that, because I wanted to put a Spider and a 44, because I wanted to make this like a 50-50 road gravel, where my other bike seems to be more road, which is probably more of a 80-20. I wanted this to be a 50-50, but if I get into more gravel, I'm actually going to get a smaller ring. I may go down to 38. This is the XT cassette that goes to 44, 11, 44. I see no reason to go 12 speed. 11 speed, I don't have to mess with my free hubs. All my free hubs are the same on all my wheels, and I don't see the need to have a 10-tooth cog for a big gear. Where I ride, I've never had an issue where I've been in the 11 for a long period of time and just felt that I was winding out. I just don't ride roads that ride on a steady decline like that. Our roads are a steep decline, and you're coasting most of the way, so that didn't make sense to me. Maybe it makes sense to where you live. The GRX, again the 800, and in a KMC chain. Wolf tooth seat post. This wolf tooth seat post with the tie bolt, it just was lighter and it looked nicer than the 7, but it does come with a 7. And then the hubs that they did with the bird spokes are these Onyx Vesper hubs. So with the Onyx Vesper, it's a little bit different than the Onyx Classic, because instead of 2 Sprag clutch engagement mechanisms, there's 1. So it still has the advantage of instant engagement and that silent hub, but it doesn't have as much weight as the heavier duty Classic. I have the heavy duty Classic on my single speed and I love them. So Bird Spokes work with me, small company. I liked it. They work with me to build the wheel set. They had already had a wheel set with the XM 481 rims for mountain. I said, hey, can you do a gravel set and put those Onyx hubs? So they will work with you, and actually it didn't cost that much more than just the one that you see advertised on the website, so you need to check them out. The same tire on back. Sometimes I mix them up and do different treads, but I'm just doing the same on front and back. The pedals are Shimano XTR pedals. I've always done Shimano pedals with CD shoes and felt comfortable with that. I can clip in and clip out, no problem. The saddle is a WTB